Very good afternoon to you from the Stade de l'Amitié in Cotonou. We are in Benin today for this final match day in Group D of World Cup qualifying for the 2022 competition in Qatar in the African zone, and a last game today for Mozambique and Malawi. These two nations are already eliminated going into the final round of games in Group D. Later this evening, Cameroon host the Ivory Coast in Douala with a top spot on the line. Malawi currently on 3 points and Mozambique on just 1, so Mozambique have to win today to avoid the wooden spoon in the group. Yes, the last day of this stage in qualifying for the 2022 World Cup. Of course, we don't yet know who the 5 representatives from Africa will be at the next World Cup. There will be 5 playoff ties next March, the winners of which will go on to the World Cup. We are at the point of learning who the teams in the playoff stage will be, but we know that it will not be Mozambique or Malawi heading through from this group. A lucky few in the stands here in Cotonou today. It's a long trip across the continent to Cotonou for this game. These two neighbours in southern Africa, landlocked Malawi, which shares a significant border with the vast country of Mozambique. These two nations hoping to sign off with a victory at the end of a disappointing qualifying campaign. Yes, just to remind you what happened, of course, in the last round of games at the weekend. Heavy defeats for Mozambique and Malawi. Mozambique were beaten 3-0 here in Cotonou by the Ivory Coast. And Malawi went down 4-0 at the hands of Cameroon in Johannesburg. A game in which they had John Banda sent off in the first half. They were always up against it after that. The two giants of this group have been far too strong for Mozambique or Malawi. And ultimately it comes down to this final game between these teams to decide who can claim the consolation prize of third place. The teams will be out very shortly, and we will take you through the starting lineups once the teams arrive on the field here. Yes, welcome to Cotonou, and the teams coming out here for this final game in qualifying Group D for Mozambique and Malawi. Mozambique propping up the group, and for them there is the chance to gain revenge, because the last time these teams met, it was in Johannesburg in September. Malawi won by 1-0 on that occasion, and that is what has them on course to claim the consolation prize of third place in the group at the moment, as long as they can avoid defeat here today in the sunshine in Benin. First of all, then, the national anthem of Malawi. Was the national anthem of Malawi, and now it'll be time for the national anthem of Mozambique.
Terra gloriosa, pedra, pedra construindo um novo dia, milhões de brasas, uma só força, oh Pátria amada, vamos dizer, Moçambique, nossa terra gloriosa, pedra, pedra construindo um novo dia.
Well, a rousing rendition then of the Mozambican anthem here in Cotonou today. Mozambique and Malawi going head to head, these two neighbours meeting a long way from home in Cotonou and chasing the consolation prize of third place in qualifying Group D. Well, with it being the final game, the two managers ringing the changes. Chiquinho Conde, the coach of Mozambique, making 5 alterations to his starting lineup following the 3-0 defeat at the hands of the Ivory Coast here at the weekend. But the big stars keep their places. Reinildo, look out for him, number 17, the left back with the French champions Lille, and the captain Elias Pelembi Domingues, who plays his club football in South Africa and who is still going strong at the ripe old age of 38. Hassan Mohamed Hagi is the referee for today's game. He and his fellow officials from Somalia. And this is the Malawi starting lineup. Well, Mike Mwaze, the coach of the Malawi Flames, ringing the changes as well. 6 changes altogether from the defeat at the hands of Cameroon at the weekend. And Mwaze taking the chance to see some fresh faces with one eye on the Africa Cup of Nations coming up early in the new year. Malawi missing a number of players today. First choice goalkeeper Brighton Muntali is injured. Gerald Piri Jr. has been rested as he moves to a new club in Sudan, and John Banda is suspended after his sending off at the weekend. But look out in particular for Charles Petro, the number 3, who plays in the UEFA Champions League this season for the Moldovan side, Sheriff Tiraspol. There is the man on the Mozambique bench, Chiquinho Conde, who was appointed on an interim basis after Portugal's Horacio Gonçalves was sacked in the wake of last month's matches. Well, the road to Qatar 2022 will end here today for these two teams. Mozambique and Malawi already out of contention to qualify for what would be a first appearance in the World Cup finals for these two neighbours from Southern Africa. All that is at stake today is the consolation prize of third place in Group D, behind the Ivory Coast and Cameroon, who meet later in Douala to decide who tops this group and heads through to the final playoff round in March. Still a chance for some fresh faces to stake their claims for future campaigns, and in the case of Malawi, there is a very big campaign coming up in a matter of weeks from now. It's the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon early in the new year. Malawi will be there, a rare appearance at the finals of the Cup of Nations for them. And the Flames eager to finish on a high as a result. Looking to get on the front foot in the early stages here. Mozambique, yellow shirts and black shorts. Good covering. But, back it comes to Ernest Kakombwe in goal. Forward by Petro. Playing surface here looks in pretty good condition at the Stade de l'Amitié in Cotonou. In the afternoon sunshine, of course. It's just gone 2 in the afternoon here in Benin. This is Malawi on the ball. Back it comes to the goalkeeper. Hernan in goal for Mozambique today. Zainadine Jr. playing in the heart of the Mozambique defence. One of a number of players in the Mozambique squad who plays their club football in Portugal. And of course, still close links between the countries. Mozambique, once upon a time, a Portuguese colony. And the links too with the great Eusébio, the Portuguese legend, and Benfica star of the 1960s. Eusébio, who was born in Maputo in Mozambique, the capital. Kimwaze, the coach of the Flames of Malawi, took over in 2019 and has done a pretty good job. Of course, the main goal was to qualify for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. They've done that in pretty impressive fashion to make it to the continental jamboree. Huge moment for them. Malawi, not a country who've had much success in the Cup of Nations, never mind the World Cup. Down the years, neither of these teams have come close to making it to the World Cup. Malawi have been at the Cup of Nations just twice before. Domingos, the veteran captain. A nice play through the legs of Chirwa. And in the end, ball runs behind for the goal kick. Yes, Pilimbe. Domingos, the number 7 for Mozambique, based in South Africa. A lot of the leading players in these teams end up in the South African Premier League, the most lucrative league on the continent, and a natural destination for top players in neighbouring countries in southern Africa. Kambala, back the way to Zainadine Junior. Just to feed it through towards Domingos, who goes down. The Somalian referee allows play to continue. Charles Petro. Picked up by Reginaldo. Looking for Domingos. Malawi have it back again. Bikani Mzava. Mzava and Petro, the centre-back pairing. Tawonga Chimodzi sitting just in front of them, wearing the number 4. Somalian referee pointing the way. 6.5 minutes in, we're yet to see a chance in this game. This is Charles Petro. One to watch this afternoon, the Sheriff Tiraspol player. Idana. Covering defensively from Zainadine Junior. Stanley Sanudi coming forward from right back to take the throw here from Malawi. The decision has gone in favour of the Flames. Francisco Madinga caught on the far side of the field here in Cotonou today. There is Reinildo. In terms of stars playing in the big European leagues, well, he is the biggest on the field today. Reinildo, a member of the Lille team that stunned French football by winning the Ligue 1 title last season ahead of the superstars in the Paris Saint-Germain squad. Free kick is played short. Madinga's control letting him down. Difficult one to make anything of that. And neither goalkeeper yet troubled in the early stages of this game. Zainadine Junior. Back to Edmilson Dove. Reinildo at left back. Back it comes to the goalkeeper, Hernan. Zainadine Junior again. Maritimo player. Some strong links with Portuguese football. There are 3 members of the Mozambique team in the lineup today who play their club football in Portugal, and all of them based with clubs on the island of Madeira. Foul on Francisco Madinga. Good defending by Edmilson. Up against Kuda Muyaba. Chimodzi. Nkwate. Madinga again. Sanudi making the run forward down the right-hand side. Mozambique get it back. And now it's with Dominguez, the captain, setting off on the run. The veteran number 7. Long ball forward, which difficult one to make anything of for the Mozambique attack. Sidiki with the throw. Campaign that started off in promising fashion for Mozambique. They held the Ivory Coast to 0-0 draw in their first game, but nothing since then. Of course, they lost 1-0 against Malawi a few days later, and they've lost every game since then. A problem here for Malawi. Francisco Madinga plays his club football in Georgia with the Dilagori club. He's hurt himself. This was the challenge on him a few moments ago. He took a knock before that as well on the far side, of course, the challenge from Reinildo that led to the free kick, and this could be a problem for Francisco Madinga, who's one of the survivors in the Malawi starting lineup from the team that took on Cameroon at the weekend in Johannesburg. Kept his place in the team today. The expectation was always going to be that the manager, Mike Mwaze, would make changes. One eye on the upcoming Cup of Nations. Madinga looks like he's going to be able to carry on. He's just heading off the field on the far side. Edmilson Dove, Madinga waiting to get the green light to come back on. It's 0-0 here at the moment in Cotonou today. Edmilson again. Well, there is Charles Petro. Picked up by Dominguez. 23 is Shakil. Edmilson again. That was Zainadine Jr. The Mozambique defenders being allowed the time on the ball to try and pick a pass over the top, but that one runs through to Ernest Kakobwe, the goalkeeper. Starting today because there was a fitness concern with the usual first choice, Brighton Muntali, an ankle problem. It's led to him being officially named among the substitutes, but the expectation would be that Ernest Kakobwe of the Niassa Big Bullets at home in Malawi would play the 90 minutes. It's an excellent ball forward. Peter Banda. Infield from him. The chance maybe for the shot at goal from range. It doesn't quite drop. Idana. Sanudi. Sanudi's ball into the arms of the goalkeeper, Hernan. Here's Edmilson Dove. On ball forward, looking for the run inside the penalty box from Clesio. Wearing the number 10 jersey into the lineup today. Another of the Portuguese-based players in the Mozambique team, based with Marítimo. Among the players left out of the Mozambique starting lineup today, one or two of their bigger names, you might say. Luis Mikison recently joined the Egyptian giants Al Ahly. He's only a substitute today. We might see him at some point later on. Zainadine Jr., nicely done. Little pirouette away from his opponent. And this is good play from Mozambique. Viti to Dominguez. Infield back to Viti again. Might engineer the shooting opportunity. Crashes the effort off the crossbar. Oh, that was excellent play from Mozambique and nearly the opening goal. And Viti unlucky to see his effort rebound off the frame of the goal. Excellent link-up play with the captain Dominguez. The control here by Viti in between two defenders, and the effort which had the goalkeeper beaten all ends up, but denied by the bar. Well, that certainly brought this game to life. Let's see what Malawi can do in response. Chimwemwe Idana to Madinga. It's recovered from that knock. Looking to play it forward towards Muyaba. Picked up in midfield again by Viti. Oh, the pass towards Reginaldo was misjudged by Viti. Chirwa back away to the captain Mzava. Chirwa shut down. Nicky Mwaze is a former Malawi international. He took over from the Belgian Ronnie van Genugden and has led the Flames to the Cup of Nations. Here they come with Peter Banda. Back the way from him to Nkwate. Chimudzi. All the way back to Hernan in goal. Well, he's yet to be tested, the Mozambique keeper. These are two teams who are eager to get among the goals today. Mozambique have scored just once in this qualifying campaign. That was in a 3-1 defeat in Cameroon last month. And it was just a late consolation. Malawi haven't fared too much better. Just 2 goals in 5 games from them before today. One of them coming in the 1-0 win against Mozambique in the reverse fixture in September. Richard Mbulu, who got the goal that day, is on the bench today. And the other goal in a 2-1 defeat against the Ivory Coast here last month. And actually, that was a tight game for a spell. It was at 1 apiece until the Ivorians won it with a penalty midway through the second half. And the Ivory Coast have struggled rather more, you feel, at times in Cameroon in this group, and yet they're on top. Madinga. Sanudi outside him. Kuda Muyaba waits in the middle. Muyaba on the edge of the 6-yard box. The flag is up against him. The Somalian assistant referee Kuda Muyaba, who plays his club football in South Africa, Polokwane City. Another one to keep his place in the team today. And he did score Malawi's goal in the 2-1 defeat here against the Ivory Coast last month. Manuel Kambala, number 6, with the ball forward, and now out to the near side for Viti. Mozambique on top at the moment. Reginaldo for his Sidiki. Cross in from the right-hand side by Dominguez. Zainadine Jr. Again, the Mozambique defenders given the time to have a look up and pick a pass. Domingues will not keep that ball in play on the near side. Gani Chirwa is getting his first start of this campaign as Mikimwaze rings the changes today. He will take the throw eventually, but Malawi have a bit of a problem. Limbikani Mzava, the skipper, is taking his boot off here. And, well, understandably, neither he nor the Malawi team want Mzava to go off the field and for the play to restart without him, but the referee is urging Limbikani Mzava to get on the stretcher and come to the sideline. No fans allowed into the stadium here in Cotonou today, just a few lucky officials. Inside the Stade de l'Amitié. Usually the home of the Benin national team. Benin just missing out on topping their group, finishing a point behind the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's after losing 2-0 in Kinshasa on Sunday to end their hopes. Benin will not be at the World Cup. Manuel Kambala giving it to Reinildo. Chance for him to come forward here. Haven't seen much of Reinildo in an attacking sense yet today. Gives it back to Manuel Kambala. Zainadine Jr. Possession won back by Malawi, and here they come. Muyaba back the way. Gani Chirwa. Well, you can hear the shouts from Chiquinho Conde, the Mozambique coach, and his technical staff, and the word they're using is rapido. The idea is to play it fast and play it pace for Mozambique, and they're trying to impose their athleticism on their opponents this afternoon, but it's Malawi coming forward now. Peter Banda on the edge of the penalty box, looking for an option here. There's perhaps something arriving on the far side. Sanudi will keep it alive. Header away is by Shakil. And now Mozambique come on the break. Carrying the ball forward all the way to Vita here on the edge of the area. Good defending on that occasion. Malawi have Limbikani Mzava, the captain, back on the field as we come up to the midway point in the first half here in Cotonou. 0-0 between Mozambique and Malawi this afternoon. Very much the Group D appetizer ahead of the decider later this evening between Cameroon and the Ivory Coast in Douala. Only one of these teams, one of the two great names on the African continent, will make it through to the final round of qualifying, never mind qualifying for the World Cup itself. The reigning African champions Algeria are not guaranteed a place in the final stage yet either. Big game coming up for them tonight at home against Burkina Faso in Blida, and as long as Algeria avoid defeat in that game, they will top their group and they will go through to the final stage. Otherwise, the chances there for Burkina Faso to pip them, which would be a sensation, would be a remarkable outcome. But otherwise, plenty of big names already through. Free kick given. The challenge on Kuda Muyaba. Tackle by Zainadine Jr. Let's see this one again. Tackle by the veteran Mozambique centre-back. And it gives Malawi the opportunity from the free kick here haven't managed to give Hernan anything to worry about yet in the early stages today. Right. Time for a quick water break in the heat here in Cotonou. It is warm, it's about 30 degrees at the moment, and it's humid as well, so I have to say hats off to the two sets of players for managing to play a game in these conditions. Not easy. That's why the water break is necessary. Temperatures consistently in the low 30s at the moment here in Benin. Remains the case even through the night. It can be pretty uncomfortable. Temperatures forecast for the night ahead to be in high 20s at night. These two sets of players will depart here after this game, of course.
Guys, go, guys.
Mozambique have been here since losing 3-0 to the Ivory Coast at the weekend. Chiquinho Conde in charge of the Mambas. He was brought in last month following the sacking of Horacio Gonçalves and given the task of restoring some pride in the national team. He's a bit of a legend in Mozambique. And he's got some instructions for his players at the moment during the water break. Play is about to resume again. VT jogging back on, the number 19 who hit the bar. The best chance of the game thus far. It's a long way out, this free kick, but looks like Malawi might fancy a shot at goal. Four men in the wall. Kuda Muyaba is one of the players standing over this. And it is going to be Muyaba to hit it, trying to go under the wall. Muyaba gets it back again. He's done well to recover possession. Tries another shot at goal. Chimodze couldn't get that one under control, and here come Mozambique on the break. Domingues looking to feed it through. Kept alive by Reginaldo. Viti. It's a clever ball and good running again from Domingues. It might be a chance for the shot at goal this time from the edge of the area. It was blocked by Petro. And it's a painful one for Charles Petro, who's gone down in the Malawi box, and the referee has stopped play to check on the defender. Wondered if he might have been winded from the impact of that shot. Laid off by Reginaldo for the attempt at goal. Very well struck, and it was crashed into the chest of Charles Petro. We'll talk about taking one for the team. I think the implication from the Malawi medical staff is that they shouldn't be rushed here into taking the player off. He may have a head knock of sorts. It looked like it made impact into his chest. Bit of concern for Miki Mwaze, the Malawi coach, and his assistants. They don't want to lose Charles Petro. He is arguably the big star in the Flames team. Still just 20 years old, but already playing for Sheriff Tiraspol, and part of their squad currently in the Champions League in Europe. A remarkable achievement for the club from Moldova. Petro joined Sheriff from Big Bullets That was last year. He's made 3 brief appearances in the Champions League qualifying rounds this season, yet to be involved in a group stage. Sheriff had that stunning win away to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in September. A couple of defeats at the hands of Inter since then have, well, seriously jeopardised their chances of making it beyond the group stage. Already being in the group stage is an incredible achievement for Sheriff Tiraspol. Play restarts again, a drop ball, and Zainadine Junior looking towards the penalty box. It's picked up by Sidiki. Shakil, now with Edmilson Dove. Socks slightly rolled down. Defender plays it infield to Manuel Kampala. Looking for the run from Siddiq from the right back position, but Manuel Kampala unable to find him. Based in South Africa with Baroka. Plenty of these players know each other from the South African League. Members of both teams, both squads based in South Africa, and there are even 1 or 2 members of the Malawi squad based in Mozambique. John Banda, paced with the Mozambican champions UD Songo. John Banda not involved today. He is suspended after being sent off at the weekend. Clesio has lost it. That's good play from Malawi to bring it out from the back up to the halfway line. A difficult one for Chimodzi to get under control, though. Mozambique have it back again. You would say that if this were a boxing match, well, Mozambique would be winning on points at the moment. Come closest to scoring in the first half an hour here. Here they come again. Reinildo. Can be a real threat, bombing forward from left back, and he's just jogging inside here in towards the penalty box as Reginaldo looks for support on the far side. Patient build-up play again from Mozambique. Sidiki thinking about the shot. It was a cross in the end. Returned by Manuel Kampala. Sidiki. Mozambique being patient and taking their time. 0-0 it is here in Cotonou this afternoon. Reinildo still going. Edmilson Dove. Here's the captain Domingues. Floating about in behind the attacking players. Plays the 1-2 with Manuel Kampala. I think the last touch came off him. And did it. Mozambique wanted the corner. It's going to be a goal kick. Just to remind you the situation in the other groups. Mali, Egypt, Ghana, Senegal, Morocco and the Democratic Republic of Congo have all already qualified for the final group stage. And meanwhile, the other groups to be decided: Algeria, Tunisia and Nigeria in a position to advance later today as well. Free kick given Malawi's way. Challenge on Mike Mkwate, who's another one who's been given his chance in the starting lineup this afternoon. The first start of the campaign for him. Foul on Peter Banda. Peter Banda, the number 13, playing on the left wing for Malawi. Foul by Mkwate. And the free kick is taken quickly. Here comes Viti. Wanted to play quickly, but a bit of concern about Zainadine Junior. He's got a painful ankle. Was the challenge, and a nasty one really from Kwate. Zanadine Jr. feeling the pain. And a spell in China, the 33-year-old. And worth noting as well that he was part of the Mozambique squad at the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2010. Didn't actually come on, but the last high point really for the Mozambican national team. The most recent of their 4 appearances at the finals of the Cup of Nations. They've never gone beyond the group stage. Failed to make it to the upcoming Cup of Nations in Cameroon. They finished bottom of their qualifying group behind Cameroon, Cape Verde and Rwanda, which on paper is hardly the most difficult. Cross towards the back post and the swipe by Viti. Difficult one to take first time. Cross from deep by Reinildo. By Reinildo, picked up by Madinga. Inside by Banda. Chimwemwe Dana was trying to return the ball to Banda. Picked up again by Peter Banda. And Kwate happy to go back the way and keep possession for Malawi as we wait the breakthrough here in Cotonou this afternoon. Charles Petro. And Kwate with a nice ball across to Sanudi on the right-hand side. Mayuba waiting in the middle. And it's easily claimed by Hernan. Arguably the first time he's had to get on the ball here, but Malawi have it back again quickly. Banda will get on the end of this and into the 6-yard box, and easily claimed by the Mozambique goalkeeper. Peter Banda starting today. Limped off in the game against Cameroon and was therefore a fitness concern, Peter Banda, but good to see him in the starting lineup this afternoon as Domingues again looks to cause problems. Gomez Gani Chirwa wearing the number 21 shirt and getting a start this afternoon. Sidiki to take the throw. Plays for the national champion Songo. Cross to Reinildo. Reinildo's cross finds Domingues, and Mozambique again seeing the move break down on the edge of the penalty box. Limbikani Mzava bringing the ball out from the back. Come Malawi again. Covering by Nielsen Dove. Plays the 1-2 with Reinildo. You'd always expect this to be a tight contest. Look at the world rankings in terms of the situation on the continent. Mozambique are ranked 32nd in Africa. Malawi ranked 30th. Gives you an idea of just where these two teams are and how big an achievement it would be. And it is for either of these teams to make it to the Cup of Nations. But in terms of getting to the World Cup, well, it's always going to be such a difficult challenge for either of these teams. Maybe just in terms of sheer population, you would say that Mozambique are underachievers, a country of about 32 million people. Ultimately, the closest that either of these teams has ever come to making it to the World Cup was in the qualifying campaign for the 2010 tournament in South Africa. The two sides made it out of the first group stage and into the final group stage, but there they both fell quite a long way short against stronger opponents. Might just be in here. Viti was trying to get on the end of that ball. The offside flag is up against him. Viti, based in Portugal with Nacional. He was just in an offside position there when that ball was helped on by Reginaldo. Still though, Mozambique looking the more likely team to get the breakthrough as we approach half-time here. Offside flag up at the other end against Kudamuyaba. That was a tight call, wasn't it? Free kick given. Clesio, the player, ending up on the ground. Now then, Ernest Kakobwe organising his wall, brought into the Malawi team today in the absence of the injured Brighton Muntali. He's albeit on the bench, but a chance for Kakobwe to impress if Mozambique can test him here. Reginaldo fancies hitting this free kick. Looks like it is going to beat Reginaldo. It's a long way out, this one. It's well struck, but over the bar. And Reginaldo unable to force the save from Ernest Kakobwe. Reginaldo, who plays his club football in Kazakhstan. Forward by Chirwa, looking for Madinga on the far side. Cleared away by Emilson Dove. Here is Chimodzi. Now back to the captain Mzava, still goalless in Cotonou. Well, appeals for a free kick. It's been given. Challenge on Reginaldo, who moved back to Kazakhstan earlier this year after a spell in North Macedonia. Had previously played in Kazakhstan. It's quite a career move to go from Mozambique to Kazakhstan, but much of his career previously had been in Portugal. Oh, a free kick to Mozambique, nominally the home team this afternoon, looking to make the most of that supposed home advantage. Lifted forwards, looking for Zainadine Junior in an unfamiliar position. It is a throw, conceded by Gomezgani Chirwa. And we approach half-time here on this last day, the group stage of African qualifying for the next World Cup. Zainadine Junior launches the throw into the box. It's partially cleared, picked up by Reginaldo. Maybe a chance here for Shakil. Back to Zainadine Junior again. And the cross is blocked. Good defending by Peter Banda. Another chance with the long throw. will run through to Ernest Kakobwe. Well, he hasn't had too much to do, but he has been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Nearly beaten, of course, by that excellent shot from Viti in the early stages. But it remains 0-0, and the troubles of these two teams in front of goal being somewhat laid bare. Just a combined 3 goals in 5 match days between them before today. Here come Malawi. Excellent play, surging forward, looking for Muyaba in the middle. And the Mozambique defence stands firm, and then Muyaba concedes the free kick. Two players based in the South African Premiership, Edmilson Dove with Cape Town City, Buda Muyaba with Polokwane City. Well, there shouldn't be too much time added on at the end of this first half. And then we have it 2 minutes still to be played. We're into the first of those minutes now. Manuel Kambala. Cleared away under pressure. Still Mozambique dominating possession, dominating territorially as well. Banda. At the moment, Malawi's struggling to get it out of their third of the field. Mozambique playing pretty well, but just struggling to create clear chances in this first half, and they'll hope for better after the break. Just the question as to whether they can finish with a victory. Not going to finish with a victory by taking shots like that on goal. Reginaldo well off target. He's annoyed with himself. Ernest Kakobwe will take the goal kick, and it will surely be the last action of the first half here. The referee brings the first half to an end. 0-0 in Cotonou this afternoon, halfway through this meeting between Mozambique and Malawi. Pride at stake in Group D, and at the moment, for all that Mozambique have been doing the pushing, if it stays this way, Malawi will take third place in the group against the Mozambique side still looking for their first victory. 0-0 at the interval. Welcome to Cotonou, where Mozambique and Malawi meet in their final game in qualifying Group D with just pride at stake. While Ivory Coast and Cameroon fight it out for a top spot in the section. This game here today is all about who will claim the consolation prize of third place. Malawi just need a draw to finish in third position. Mozambique can leapfrog them though with a victory here today. Yes, welcome back to Cotonou. The teams out again for the second half here between Mozambique and Malawi. The final day in Group D. We're still waiting for the first goal in this match today. Mozambique have been on top thus far. That effort from Viti that struck the crossbar as close as they have come, and as close as either team has come to finding a way through today in this last game of this campaign for these teams. It's been a disappointing campaign, really, for Mozambique and Malawi. And for Malawi, a campaign that began way back in September of 2019 when they got the better of Botswana, the 1-0 win on aggregate. So here we go in the second half then, the last 45 minutes of this World Cup qualifying campaign for these two teams. Mozambique looking to sign off with a victory and gain revenge against the Flames here today. Malawi, who emerged victorious by 1-0 when the teams met earlier in the campaign in September. Malawi have at least tasted victory a couple of times throughout this World Cup qualifying campaign, but not a single win to speak of for Mozambique. A change of coach as well last month. But credit to them, they've looked slightly the better of the two teams thus far today. Just a bit more overcast now here in the heat of Cotonou this afternoon. No changes at the interval as the speculative shot comes in, covered by Ernest Kakobwe. Was wide of the post from Manuel Kambala for Mozambique. Or rather, it was Viti who tried the shot. Again, the man who came close in the first half. Mozambique just looking for a rare goal in this qualifying campaign. The strongest players, the recent generation, have tended to be defensive-minded players. Reinildo at left-back today. Edson Mesher is another one who plays his club football in the French league with Bordeaux. He was initially named in the squad, but ultimately not involved either today or at the weekend. Mozambique losing 3-0 here against the Ivory Coast on Saturday. Here's Domingues. Feeds the ball through for Viti. Domingues again with Manuel Kambala. The challenge was a meaty one by Reginaldo on Francisco Madinga. And it's going to be the first booking of the day for Reginaldo. Kazakhstan-based forwards. Just leaving his studs in on that challenge, and Madinga was straight away asking the question of the referee, would he produce the yellow card? There is a precedent, by the way, between these two teams. They played each other in the regional COSAFA Cup in South Africa in July, and Mozambique won 2-0 on that occasion. It was a disappointing campaign for Malawi. They went out in the group stage of the COSAFA Cup. Mozambique at least made it all the way to the semi-finals. They eventually lost on penalties to another of their neighbours, Eswatini. Shot from long range is blocked on the edge of the box by Manuel Kambala. Malawi keeping the pressure on here. Chimwemwe Idana for Stanley Sanudi. Cross in from him is a good one. Picked up by Reinildo. Away by the Lille defender. Made the left-back berth his own at the French club ahead of the Croatian Domagoj Bradaric. Chiquinho Conde spent much of his playing career in Portugal. And a brief spell at Sporting. Best known really for his time at Belenenses, and that's a club where Reinildo played as well. Madinga. Francisco Madinga took a few knocks early on this afternoon, and there's another one. Free kick is hammered long downfield. Speculative ball, you could call it. Picked up by Chimwemwe Idana, one of the standout players in the most recent domestic league season, the number 8 for Malawi today, Chimwemwe Idana. Back to Hernan, the goalkeeper. Still been a very quiet afternoon for him. Edmilson Dove. Well, Malawi have toiled really to cause problems to the Mozambique defence. Just wonder how long it will be until we see some changes. Players like Richard Mbulu, who started at the weekend, on the bench this afternoon. Malawi missing some pretty big names. That's an awkward one. This could be real trouble. It's an own goal. And Mozambique are in front from nowhere. Limbikani Mzava trying to head it back to his goalkeeper, Ernest Kakobwe, but a breakdown in communications between them. And Kakobwe had come off his line and could only watch as that ball sailed over his head and in. It's 1-0 to Mozambique, the free kick downfield, and just a horrible moment for Limbikani Mzava. Well, he was under pressure from Reginaldo, and he just tried to cushion that ball back to Kakobwe. Disaster for Malawi, and Mozambique, after being on top in the first half here today, have the goal laid on a plate to them. Early in the second half, and Mozambique just their second goal of this qualifying campaign. They really needed a helping hand, and they've been given one today. And now time for another card. It's going to be Shakil, who is booked for the challenge on Tawonga Chimodzi. Shakil, one of the members of the Mozambique squad base with the leading local club, Ferroviario, from Maputo, the capital. Was the challenge, and it was a nasty one. His studs catching Chimodzi on the thigh. And the experienced Tawonga Chimodzi feeling the pain there. Well, it was a bit tentative at times in the first half, even if Mozambique were on top, but quite the start to the second half. Seen a couple of yellow cards for Mozambique, but they've got the goal. This local derby, you could call it, between these teams, Mozambique and Malawi today. At the moment, Mozambique set to gain revenge for their defeat in the reverse fixture a couple of months ago. Much changed Malawi team, must be said. We mentioned earlier that Brighton Muntali, the goalkeeper, is missing today with an ankle injury, which has stopped him from starting the game, and his replacement, Ernest Kakobwe, caught out. Mickey Mwaze, the manager, will be learning plenty of things about his squad ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations to come in a couple of months' time. Here they come at the other end. Madinga's cross. Tally is at least with the squad today. John Banda is, of course, absent after his red card at the weekend. Number of players suspended. Gerald Peary Jr. excused duty today. He's on his way to a new club. Is Gerald Peary Jr. He's been a key player for Malawi. Spent most of his career in South Africa, but he's just left Baroka to join Al Hilal, one of the top teams in Sudan, and that's why he was excused duty from this game. Malawi missing him. Richard Mbulu only on the bench as well. And meanwhile, Clesio suggesting to the referee that he was the victim of an elbow. Mozambique substitutes down there warming up. Not that they need to do much warming up. It is hot and sweaty out there today. Luis Miki-son among the players warming up. One of those dropped from the starting lineup today. The changes made by Chiquinho Conde paying dividends at the moment. Mozambique in front. Clesio just waiting the green light to come back on. He's back on the field now. Back away by Reinildo and Nilsson Dove. Reinildo loses out to Madinga. And a foul on Tawonga Chimodzi. Well, if it stays this way, Mozambique will move above Malawi to snatch third place in the section. A draw would be enough for Malawi today. Still plenty of time left in this game if they are to find a way back into the contest. They need to do more to trouble Hernan in goal. Final match in Cotonou today. It's a busy last day of the qualifying campaign. Two other matches being played at the same time as this one. Egypt up against Gabon in Alexandria, and along the African Mediterranean coast in Benghazi. Libya up against Angola. Decisive games to come later. Algeria, Burkina Faso is among them, and what a game that will be. This is one of the appetizers today here. Also later in Lagos, Nigeria, Cape Verde, and then this evening Tunisia hosting Zambia, Equatorial Guinea away in Mauritania, and Cameroon, Ivory Coast. All massive games, and certainly in particular that game between Cameroon and Ivory Coast, there's a real flavour to it, doesn't it? Two of the great names in African football clashing in Douala. Top spot in this Group D on the line. Away by Kakobwe. Picked up by Reinildo. Mozambique on top, as well as in front at the moment. Manuel Kambala. Shot from long range is a good one. Kambala's effort saved by Ernest Kakobwe. Manuel Kambala of Baroka in South Africa. Malawi on the ball again. This is Tawonga Chimodzi. Stanley Sanudi helped on by Idana. Francisco Madinga. Reinildo thought it might have been a Mozambique ball. Chimwemwe Idana's cross. Watched all the way. Sadiq getting his head to it, and now here comes Viti, leading the break for Mozambique. Not giving up against Chirwa, who did well, and Chirwa has it again. Can Malawi recover from that horrible moment, the own goal, which has them trailing? Idana giving chase to that ball. Turned behind by Emilson Dove. Hassan Mohammed Hagi, the Somalian referee, pointing towards the touchline because Malawi are preparing a couple of changes here. Well, they need to do something, and Richard Mbulu and Yamikani Chester, two of the players who started at the weekend before being dropped today. They make their way onto the field. Mike Mkwate had a quiet afternoon. Is one of the players to come off, and the other one I think is Francisco Madinga. Just wonder if those changes were already planned by Mickey Mwaze on the hour mark. Mozambique preparing the change as well, but for now Malawi coming forward. The substitutes linking up. Yamikani Chester trying to keep that in play. Well, I think the ball had just gone behind for a goal kick before the cross came in from Yamikani Chester. Still, Hernan has not really been stretched today, you have to say. Hernan's clearance has helped on. Very nice play. And here comes Luis Mikison, the substitute. Domingues. Mikison again. What an introduction it could be for him. And the goalkeeper makes the save. Manuel Kampala taking a knock, and a problem for Mozambique. A few knocks today. These players will return to their clubs, of course, after this match, and the relentless season continues. Manuel Kambala getting some treatment, and that's why. Kudamuyaba crashing into him. Some ice being applied. It looks like it's the hamstring. There'll be a few aches and pains tomorrow anyway. For Malawi, well, they're asking why Manuel Kampala has not been taken off the pitch to receive the treatment. Manuel Kambala coming limping to the sideline here. As play resumes, Chimodzi for Malawi. Ball flighted forward. One in the air by Edmilson Dove. This is Sanoudi. Over Yamikani Chester, the substitute. Trying to get the cross in again. It's a poor delivery. The wind has really picked up, I must say, here in Cotonou. You can, I think, see the effect of the wind on the players' shirts, on the objects blowing across the pitch. You can hear it as well. Reinildo. Back by Chester, all the way to Sanoudi. He should use his goalkeeper here. And by Kambala. Chance to lose Mikison. And the ball into the middle. Well, first corner of the game. It goes Mozambique's way. We do have a problem here. The stretcher this time is on. I think Manuel Kambala's afternoon is at an end. He's asked for the change to be made. And Mozambique, having just made a double substitution, are going to have to make another change in a moment. But I think we might have the corner first. Will we? So Kambala is off, and Ginaldo Matsimbe is the player who comes on. Dominguez delivering the corner, and it's Zinedine Junior, I think, who headed that one over the bar. Well, just a bit of a lull in this game now in the second half, as Mozambique just affected by all the changes. Confirmation of the early changes. Clesio, the player replaced by Luis Mikison, one of those who dropped out of the starting lineup today. And Viti hit the bar in the first half, the man making way for Telinho, Stelio Ernesto. Chester. Well, the changes certainly adding new interest to this game. We move into the final quarter here, past the midway point in the second half. Mozambique in front. Corner played short. Peter Banda to the edge of the box. Idana back to Banda again. And the break could be on here. Dominguez. Big switch of play. It's an excellent ball. If Telinho can make something of it. Former Ajax Cape Town player, now back in his home country with Costa do Sol. Telinho, one of the veterans in the squad. Limbikani Mzava's own goal is what separates the teams. Here is Mzava. Malawi not in a hurry. Will want to finish third in the group and avoid defeat here today, but ultimately the main aim for them is to focus on preparing for the upcoming Cup of Nations. It's going to be an enormous challenge for them in a group containing Senegal as well as Guinea and Zimbabwe. Making it beyond that group would be a terrific achievement for the Flames. Never made it beyond the group phase in their two previous appearances at the finals of the Cup of Nations. They did stun Algeria 3-0 in the 2010 AFCON. Well, I have to say that it's going to be a big challenge for them against Senegal to repeat the scoreline like that one, and maybe a game against Zimbabwe offers them some hope. Another of the Southern African representatives at the upcoming Cup of Nations. There is the possibility, of course, of getting through as one of the best third-place teams to the last 16, and that's something that Malawi have to aim for. Chester. Stanley Sanudi will take the throw here. Willie is going to leave that ball, and the officials and players coming across for a quick refreshment. Well, it is needed in heat and humidity here today in Cotonou. Reginaldo and Mozambique in front. I think you can see from the players' shirts the extent of the physical exertion required today. And Mozambique getting ready to make more changes. Time for some fresh legs. Dominguez, the 38-year-old, still going strong. Number 7, it was his birthday on Saturday when Mozambique lost at the hands of the Ivorians. Come Malawi, Dana's ball through, looking for Mbulu. Well, it's gone behind. Yonan diving, but he had the post covered, and it will be a corner to Malawi. Peter Banda will take it. Cleared away by Sanadine Junior. Picked up by Gomez Gani Chirwa. Return it into the penalty box. Banda again. Blocked by Reinildo. Yamikani Chester. Can he keep it in play here? Excellent challenge by Edmilson Dove. Banda with the throw this time. Munyaba. Can Malawi find an equalising goal? Komizgani Chirwa will run through to Hernan. He will take his time over this one. Mozambique in front and preparing to make the changes. One of the players who was getting ready to come on is Dayo Antonio, who's a centre forward. Fresh legs in attack for the Mambas. And Jenny Katam was the other player who will come on, who is an attack-minded player too. Well, Emil Sandov requiring some treatment, landing painfully.
Lift the ball!
Headed away by Mzava. His own goal is still what separates the teams this afternoon here. Somalian referee pointing across to the touchline, and this will be the chance for the changes to be made. Emil Sandov coming back on. Domingues, the veteran captain, has put in a good shift today, but he is going to make way now. And Reginaldo, the striker, is the other player coming off. Domingues will just pass on the captain's armband. Well, he's not hurrying, is he? Okay, well, meanwhile, looks like Domingues is not actually coming off. The number of Shaquille was held up as the thunderstorm erupts above us. Shaquille and Reginaldo are the two players who make way here. Midfielder and a striker coming off, and Tayo Antonio should go in there up front in place of Reginaldo. And Jenny Catano come into the midfield. Bulu's attempted ball, appeals for a corner, it is given. And it's played short by Banda. Now he gets the cross in. Hernan watching it all the way, helps it on. Cleared by Telinho. More rumbles of thunder above us here. One in the air by Zainadine Junior. Reinildo. Emil Sandov, now back to Reinildo again. Luis Mikison giving chase, and it's good defending that time from Limbikani Mzava. His confidence must have taken a big knock with the own goal, but really well up against Luis Mikison, who's certainly a player to watch out there in the closing stages today, the Mozambique number 11. Recently joined the mighty Al Ahly of Egypt from Simba of Tanzania. Horrible moment for Limbikani Mzava with the own goal. And at the moment, Malawi heading for defeat because of that. Banda giving chase. Ball just staying in play. The rumbles of thunder getting louder. And that ball has run behind for a goal kick. Charles Petro of Sheriff Tiraspol. And a good shift today in defence for Malawi. Clock running down on this game, and the World Cup qualifying campaign coming to an end for these two teams. I mentioned Malawi's path to Qatar, which began with a tie against Botswana in the first round of qualifying more than 2 years ago now, before the pandemic struck. It was a late penalty by Gerald Peary Jr. which took them through in the second leg in Blantyre, got them through to the group stage. Yellow card given to Hernan for perceived time wasting. Third Mozambican player to be yellow carded in the second half here. There's Miki-son. Too much on the pass. The rain is now falling here. Gomez Ganichiwa prepares to take another throw into the final 10 minutes in Cotonou. Here come Mozambique again. Dominguez, the captain. Just happy to keep hold of possession. Ginny Katamo with the ball out to the right-hand side. Ginny Katamo again. His shot is deflected past. Ginny Katamo, the only Mozambique player to have actually scored a goal still in this qualifying campaign, as Malawi make another change, and Peter Banda is the player who makes way. And Lloyd Jaliwa is the man who comes on. Corner kick played short. Thumped away. More rumbles of thunder as the Mozambique goalkeeper Hernan comes out of his box to clear. And Milson Dove with the ball forward. And this one watched all the way by Hernan. Still not really had a save to make today, you have to say. Mozambique keeper. Clean sheet will do them plenty of good after heavy defeat suffered at the weekend against the Ivory Coast, a 3-0 defeat. Malawi have actually conceded more goals in this campaign, including the 4 against Cameroon at the weekend when they played the majority of that game down to 10 men, remember. John Banda's early sending off for handball, which led to the penalty converted by Vincent Aboubakar midway through the first half. Cameroon never looked back from that. Ball into the penalty box and the chance for the shot, which is blocked. Malawi struggling to clear their lines. Still the rain falls, and Stanley Sanudi, well, he's getting soaked as we head into the closing minutes of this game. Weather has certainly changed. The Mozambique pressing home their superiority, having been on top in the first half and now on course for the 3 points. They're still looking for a second goal that would really put this one to bed. Marshall behind excellently by Chimwemwe Idana, the Big Bullets player. And it's going to be a Malawi goal kick. Richard Mbulu struggling to make an impact on this game since his introduction, the Malawi number 9. Sanudi. Jaliwa. Muyaba. Chester moved across to the left-hand side. Chester's ball into the middle, and Mbulu just unable to make anything of it. Well, Yamikani Chester has had a positive impact for Malawi since his introduction. Coming on for Mike Mkwate, who it must be said was very quiet. Richard Mbulu couldn't make anything of it. He is South African-based striker with Baroka. He's actually a trained soldier, Richard Mbulu. Could do with some of his fighting spirit in the final few minutes as he gives chase. Milson Dove under pressure, back to his goalkeeper. Mozambique running the clock down for the moment, leading by a goal to nil. Nimbikani Mzava's own goal has them in front as they look for the second. Reynildo. More rumbles of thunder here. Nimbikani Mzava will be wondering what might have been as he returns to his club, Hamazulu. Hamazulu recently won a Champions League tie against Niassa Big Bullets, the Blantyre side, who are Malawi's most successful club, the reigning champions. Hamazulu actually lost the first leg 1-0 in Durban, but went to Malawi and won the return to qualify, ending the continental hopes of the Big Bullets. Chance for the second goal, this time into the side netting. Well, that was a great chance for Mozambique to finish this one off, and Telinho unable to hit the target. Hernan slipping as he went to clear that ball. Siddiqui will take the throw into the Mozambique team today, into the 90th minute almost here in Cotonou. Reinildo. Ball bouncing over him. Very hard one to judge. Sanuti lets that run behind for the throw. Well, Malawi have to act quickly. Chimodzi. Ball forward by Mzava, looking for Jester. Mozambique have it back again. Might just fall for Dominguez, it's away by Sanuti. And there should be a few minutes added on at the end of this game. Of course, we've seen plenty of substitutions in the second half, but I have to say it's looking pretty unlikely that Malawi are going to find an equalising goal. The rain still falling here in Benin. Three added minutes. 3 minutes for Mozambique to hold on, 3 minutes for Malawi to salvage a draw, and the point that would ensure that they hold on to third place in Group D. These teams a long way behind the Ivory Coast and Cameroon as they meet later. That match in Douala will be incredibly tense. Cameroon have to win it. Ivory Coast just need a draw to secure top spot in the section and advance to the playoffs in March. The draw for the playoffs, the 10 teams through to the 5 ties, well, that will be to come. Mozambique have the free kick here. And a yellow card shown. Frustrating afternoon in the end for Kuda Muyaba. First Malawi player to be cautioned. And that was the challenge, the clear trip on Dominguez. Veteran Mozambique captain. Dominguez to take the free kick. It will run through to Ernest Kakobwe. Disappointing delivery. And can Chirwa make anything of this? Excellent covering from Jenny Katamu. Real lack of quality in the final third, you have to say, from the two teams today. That shot against the bar from Viti in the first half ultimately was, well, the main highlight for Mozambique going forward. Of course, they were gifted the goal, and Malawi in reply not offering too much in an attacking sense. Disappointing afternoon for them as their World Cup qualifying campaign comes to an end. They will look towards the Cup of Nations in the new year. It's going to be upon us very, very soon in Cameroon. Reinildo. Sanudi. Here's Mbulu. And the attempted pass was cut out from Petro. Stepped up into the midfield, but not able to influence this game in a positive way for Malawi. And the 3 added minutes have now come and gone. That is the state of play here in Cotonou this afternoon. Mozambique have claimed the victory by 1-0. They have taken their revenge against Malawi for the defeat by the same scoreline in the reverse fixture 2 months ago, and the win is enough for Mozambique today to leapfrog Malawi into third place in Group D. Such disappointment for Limbikani Mzava, the Malawi captain. His own goal early in the second half ultimately deciding this game, and the final score here in Cotonou this afternoon. Mozambique 1, Malawi 0. As the rain continues to fall, a clean sheet for Hernan, the goalkeeper. Mozambique claiming third place, despite scoring just 2 goals, one of them that own goal today. And the lack of quality in the final third was something for them to work on in the weeks and months to come as they look towards future competitions. There may well be a new manager in place by the time the next qualifying campaign begins. Chiquinho Conde in his interim spell in charge, claiming a victory today. Malawi beaten. And Meke Mwaze's side will look towards the Cup of Nations now and hope for better. But it's going to be a massive test for them in January in Cameroon, when Senegal, Zimbabwe and Guinea will stand in their way. The final standing in Group D for these teams: Mozambique third on 4 points, Malawi bottom with just 3 points to their name. The top 2 meet later. Cameroon hosting the Ivory Coast. Cameroon know that only a win will do if they're to top the section and go through to the playoffs. The Ivory Coast need just a point.